So
look at us fucking thriving.
look at us doing
ladies.
stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yay!
Oh, we're so
We're
excited.
doing so good.
So good.
Love this.
Love it.
Cute.
Hello, and welcome to Spooky Sips, where we put our love of horror movies into a podcast and sip some spirits along the way. I'm one of your hosts, Yvette, here with my co-hosts, Laura and Brianna.
Hello.
Hello?
You guys, I think I'm a little drunk.
Well, first of all, I normally say hello first.
Well, you were just sitting there.
Well, I
You
was
were.
looking up the recipe for the cocktail because I realized that was going to be my job.
All right, we're in a special place tonight, kids.
Guys, we started recording 47 minutes ago.
Buckle in. That's why I'm drunk. Just been drinking the whole time.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, I'm like ready for a second.
So anyways, here on podcast, we watch movies. So,
You're on podcast.
I am drunk. Oh, anyways, why are we here?
God.
Oh, because we watched the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yes.
All right, it's a 2016 movie. I have seen it. I recommended it because I remembered loving it. I could not remember much about it, but I knew that I loved it. So basically, you just need to know it's this father and son morticians. Well, the one is a mortician, the other's in training. And they, late at night, get a dead body of a girl that comes in and shit goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this movie is about.
Yeah.
I have also seen this movie.
You have? Okay.
Yes. And I remember that I had mixed feelings about this movie the first time I watched it. And I will say that while watching this movie, at first I was liking it and I was like, why did I have mixed feelings of this movie? And I do want to let you both know what happened. About halfway through this movie, while taking notes, I wrote in big, bold letters, I quit this movie.
Oh, I know why. Okay. So you guys, something special happened this time because I got my husband to watch it. So we watched it together
What?
and that has literally never happened. And I don't just mean for the podcast.
This one?
Yes. And I don't just mean for the podcast. We don't ever watch movies, but he did. And I made the decision that we need to have a special episode where we just have his commentary overlaid from a movie because you guys, it was good that I had seen it before, but he just narrated the entire film.
Oh my God, you should have
And-
set up the tiny mics we got.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
But I think why you quit the movie was the same reason that he was like, this is fucking bullshit.
Yes.
And he was mad and he never got over it.
Oh
But
my God,
then-
I can't
yeah.
wait to
So
find out what this
we'll
moment
talk
was.
about it as we go through. But then I actually do feel like this movie, it was slightly after when I quit the movie. I do feel like this movie is two parts. And I
Yes.
liked the first half of the movie, and then the second half I was like, this is a little stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of get
Have
that.
you seen it, Yvette?
No, I had
Okay.
not seen this one before.
Okay.
I like when I saw the poster, I was like, oh, like maybe I saw the
Yeah.
movie poster or something, but I knew nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. I still liked it, but we'll get to
yeah.
that.
Honestly, I feel like so much of like movies really are just like what you're in the mood for that day.
Mhm.
And I feel like I was in the
Yes.
mood to like not think, and it was like dark and stormy, and I
Yes.
just wanted to eat a snack.
Yeah, the vibes.
And I know I was eating during the movie, you know,
Mhm.
Ooh.
sue me.
This is a rough one to eat during.
Yeah, but I was committed to these cheese balls that I got. So.
Okay, well, at least it wasn't like something slimy, like spaghetti. Just eat a bowl of
Ooh.
pasta.
Cheese balls sound so good right now.
Well, they had the like Cheetos balls.
Yes.
So I got cheese, jalapeno cheddar, and flamin' hot, and then I put them all in a bowl. And I was like, I just want to do something that'll allow me to eat this bowl.
We have to do that for the 100th.
Yes.
That sounds
It was incredible.
amazing.
we
Mhm.
need an epic snack sesh.
And
It's
a
been
big
minute.
mastication because our
Yes.
viewers
Mhm.
love that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we
Everyone
got to
does.
do it for the fans.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
I masticate
So-
for the fans.
So I had my bowl of Cheetos. It was dark. It was rainy. It was stormy. I think you could have given me any movie and I would have had
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was ready.
Yeah. That sounds. I do feel that this movie, because it was stormy during the movie, it was rainy in the movie and you hear all the thunder and the lightning. This movie did make me very in the mood for fall. I was like, oh, this movie makes me so want spooky season.
Yes.
I was craving it. So I did appreciate that.
Yes. So the setup is pretty basic, right?
It's Virginia.
We're in Virginia. We've got a father and son. The father is the mortician. The son is in training, because actually being a mortician is a hard industry to break into. I looked into it when I was 18.
That's right.
And it is a very hard, it is, because one, to become an actual mortician is a very hard process. Two, mortician licenses, it's not like others, there's a capped amount. And three, they're majority of family business. Weirdly enough. So we've got this cool basement cellar where they've got the setup, and it's so creepy. And it's got these red tiled walls that are amazing.
It's like very old school home.
Yes. And it's late. They're finishing up, and we see the father and son, doing the things. I don't know. I mean,
it kind of starts actually a crime scene.
Yes.
And I actually really kind of liked that, because as much as I love horror movies, I also love true crime, as I feel we all do. And it starts out where you see the flash bulbs of the cops are investigating a crime scene, and we see there's an old man that's dead, an old woman, and then a young person, and can't really tell man or woman, but doesn't matter. And so they've been viciously killed.
Yeah. It's a rough scene. The entire house.
There's just blood everywhere.
And it's pretty well done. It looks creepy.
Oh yeah.
It was done well, I thought.
Yeah. For sure.
And then the detectives, the cops, go down into the basement. And when they go down into the basement, it's like the basement floor it's not an actual floor. It's like dirt.
It's like a dugout cave,
it's been dug. And there's a half buried naked hot girl, but she's dead. Well, come on,
it's important to note she was hot.
This is a gorgeous corpse.
She was a hot corpse, let me tell you.
Here's the thing, she doesn't, I think it's important to note that, because she doesn't really look dead.
No, she doesn't. You're right.
She looks lifeless.
Yeah.
But she doesn't look dead, because she looks kind of like a hot naked woman.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I'll throw in my first kind of fun fact here, because the director really wanted it to be an actor the whole time, instead of having a dummy. Now, obviously they did for, the obvious, they had to cut into the body.
Right.
But other than that, it was just her laying in that the cold slab the entire time.
And I always wonder how they do that.
Well, so the reason that she got the part, what was her name? Olwen Kelly. Part of the reason that she got the part was because she had this background in yoga and meditation, so she could slow her breath down and do this deep breathing that didn't make it look like she was breathing. The actors that played the father and son kept saying it kept being weird, where they're wait, this is her, right? Not the dummy. Wait, who's, because they couldn't see her breathing because she was so good at it.
Yeah.
And the director wanted to be a real person, because you can tell every time they show her, it's okay, that's a real person on the table. That's not a lifeless dummy. That's a person. And I think that was a really good idea.
Yes, I agree.
See, I really appreciate that, because I picked up on that. You totally get that she's dead, but she doesn't seem dead. In fact, that's something that I even wrote down, where I said there's something so alarming about the way they're cutting into her, but then they're showing her face and she doesn't look dead, but they're doing the autopsy. There's something so upsetting and disturbing about that.
Agreed.
No, every time they pan to her, is is she gonna wake up? Is she there? But I feel I usually try to keep an eye out. I didn't see any her chest is moving, she's breathing. I didn't catch any of that. So whatever meditation, yoga, breathing technique she was using.
Good.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
So yeah, then we're at the funeral home and they're finishing up. You can tell the son's like, I want to go. My girlfriend's coming. We're going to a movie. Brian Cox plays the dad, who I love as an actor. So he was phenomenal.
Talking of disturbing, I couldn't get over because what I most know him from is the dad from The Ring.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he just freaked me out in that.
And I feel like it was a very similar vibe.
Yes.
This one, you know?
Yeah.
So then the girlfriend gets there and, you know, she's cute and they're doing their thing, but she wants to look around.
And they just make the setup of, so it's a regular kind of funeral home where like they live and do the funerals up top, but where they do the embalming and the autopsies, they do it down in the basement.
And
but the only way to
yes.
enter it is through this rickety elevator or a storm door.
Storm door. Loves.
No, immediately, as soon as we realized the setup, which was that the only way out is an elevator or a storm door, I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I need more methods of exit.
Okay, so here comes me and Erin's first debacle. Is she's like, I want to look around, right? And she goes into the room and she's like, I want to see a body. And Erin was like, oh my God, no one would do that. And I was like, I would 100% do that. If I ever had the opportunity to be in a morgue, you absolutely bet that I would be like, open those bad boys up. Let's meet them.
No, that's 100% believable.
I love that is a point that came up because that is one of the parts of my segment. Is
I feel like
who
I'm
would
good
do
at doing
that?
And I really don't know.
Statistically, who and how many people would do that and why?
I love where this is going.
One of my like first jobs out of college, the mailroom was next to the morgue. And so the first time I had to take something to the mailroom, like it was, I like looked over and it was just like the morgue with like the giant door. So every time I had to go drop off mail, I was like, all right, time to prepare to go past the morgue.
I think I would have been such a good mortician.
I would have been a good mail carrier. We could have worked at Yvette's college.
Yes, shit.
Worked in the basement.
What a missed opportunity. So anyways, he's like, no, absolutely not. Anyways, my dad is really strict. And then the dad's voice is like, do it. Fucking do it.
No.
And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah, choose one. And so she points, he opens it, but she's like, no, I didn't want that one. I want the other one. And you can see the little labels. So this one says strychnine on it. And he opens it up and the feet obviously come out first, right? Which I think actually in real morgues, it's the opposite. They go feet first inside.
Oh.
As a fan of the industry, I'm pretty sure that was wrong. But you see the sheet is over the face and you can just tell that the face is not there and it's just
sunken in,
caved in hole. And so she's like, well, what happened? And the dad is like, well, it was a bullet to the head. And she was like, oh, was it like self-inflicted? And he was like, well, we thought, but then we tested his blood and he was full of strychnine. So he couldn't have. So it was someone that poisoned him and then made it look like a bullet to the head. Yeah. But we also noticed that there's something tied to the foot.
Yes.
And this is one of my favorite parts of this movie. I don't know why, but I love the lore. And it's a little string with a little bell on it.
Yeah.
So when it moves, it goes dee 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 dee.
And she's like and coming into it, I was like, I love the setup of this movie. I think I went into it ready for a spooky movie. So I was like, okay, yes, they are absolutely going to get trapped in here. And we are absolutely going to hear a little bell
100%
at some point, you know?
Yes.
But she's all, why is there a bell? And he tells the story of, back in the day, sometimes you couldn't really tell if people were really dead. So this was like more of like superstition. You tie it on because that way, if they're not really dead, if the bell rings, you know that they're still alive or something. And then she's like, well, but that was back in the day, if you now know if they're dead, why do you still do it? And he says, I'm a traditionalist.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I actually really liked the dad in this movie.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And traditionally, it's interesting because there are some industries that are full of superstition. For example, baseball players, like actual professional baseball players and hockey, I feel like, are very superstitious. But also, a lot of morticians typically are. And so, like, people will actually still do this in today's time, even though that doesn't make any sense. You kind of do it as like a superstition, you know, which is fascinating. I love.
At some point, we also see Stanley the cat bring a
Do we
dead
meet
mouse
Stanley?
in.
Oh,
I love the name.
I mean, such a great name for a cat.
And instantly you're like, God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so the I never learned the name of anyone in this movie.
Oh, on it, I
just Stanley.
So I just wrote son and dad.
Yeah, I knew Stanley's name.
So then the son and his girlfriend they're gonna go to the movies, and she's talking about how like you haven't told him you're leaving yet, but that point of the movie doesn't really matter. But then as they're leaving, the sheriff brings in a new body.
And you can tell that the son is just like, there's no way he's going to the movies.
Yes. He's like, he wouldn't have brought the body in at this late hour if it wasn't an emergency. I have to stay.
Well, it's like, oh, did you like see the way that he like looked when he came in? Clearly it's important.
That'd be important. So he's like, go, occupy yourself for the next couple hours. I'll join you at the, like come back in a few hours.
Yeah, he tells her to come back. Yeah.
He's like, I'll just help him for a few hours. So
the sheriff kind of gives the background of the crime scene. He's like, here's what was going on.
Yep.
And he's like, but I've got a lot of dead bodies. And this one is the one that we're like, we have no idea what's going on.
We don't know how she died.
And we need a cause of death. Like, we got to know how she died so we can figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, I want it tonight.
And they don't know who she is. Fingerprints didn't bring up anything. So she's a Jane Doe.
Yep.
Jane Doe. Oh, and as we have said, each and every time on this podcast, animals know, because everyone's like, oh, we got to figure out poor Jane Doe, this victim. And Stanley is hissing.
He's like,
and does
fuck no.
not like Jane Doe. Stanley's like, ooh, fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
Stanley the cat knows.
Always trust the pets. Always.
Ooh, and so, okay, here are the things that they discover. I wrote down all of the symptoms.
Oh, good. Okay.
She's a very clean corpse. She has cloudy gray eyes. She is colder than she should be to the touch, but she has no lividity or rigor mortis. So she's not stiff. She has shattered, broken wrists and ankles. She has peat under her nails, like both finger and toenails. She has a cut out tongue. When they're examining her external, her nose, first it almost seems like it's flaring, like she's breathing, but no, it's not that it's flaring, because then blood comes out of it and a fly flies out.
It was a good moment.
No, it was
and then they pull out fabric from her mouth. So that's all the things that in a quick examination in phase 1 of their examination, that's what they discover.
And that she has a missing tooth on the bottom, a molar.
And then missing molar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then they also randomly talk about how, like, his mom is dead. Like, and I'm like, every time you got to bring the dead mom in. Like, and it didn't even, I don't even know what point they were making when they talked about it, but randomly at some point in the beginning of the movie, we learned that his mom is dead.
Correct. Right.
You know, just got to throw that one in there somewhere.
Yeah. So,
like, the tension is high as they're examining her.
Yeah, because her body has no marking on the outside. Like, she is in perfect condition, so it makes no sense.
Right. Right. Other than like even though her ankles and wrists are shattered, broken, there's no bruising.
Right. So then they cut into her.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool, okay, I will say, like, I know this movie has a lot of like not so great moments, but I feel like the imagery there was just some really like beautifully cool imagery. And so she's on her slab and they do the traditional like wide cut, right? Where it goes down. And then we see the strainer, the drain at the bottom, and she just starts bleeding profusely. Like a dead body should not be able to bleed, right? If the heart is gone, you're not bleeding. And she is.
Yeah. And the son's like, they're not supposed to do that, right? And
I know,
like,
I love that.
The dad was like, I've seen it. Like, it's rare, but like he explains it. Like, like it can happen with
like if the heart stops at this moment and yada yada.
Yeah.
And like it's like either right before they cut into her, like after they do the external, or right as they're doing it, the lights flicker and this creepy music, because they're listening to like rock music, and this creepy music starts to play, and it's what's the song?
Like Satan and sunshine. It's like sunshine.
Yeah, it's like open up your heart and
open up your heart and let the sunshine in.
Sunshine in.
Yeah, but it's slower.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I think what they did is like, I don't, on like a record player, they have
they like
different
slowed
speeds.
it.
Yeah, they did like instead of the like 46 instead of like 46, they did like the 33. So it's
this was when Aaron was like, he was like, oh, fuck this. What a cheap shot to give it stupid music. I was like, Aaron, calm down. Hey, get out of here.
But yeah, so
they
then
open her up.
Yeah, and then there's like this strange substance in her flesh.
It's like black sticky, like it's like this weird tarry.
Yeah.
And then they find the bag in her.
There's a lot of weird stuff once they get inside.
There's like scar tissue in her organs.
Yes. There's writing. Well, they find the writing later. So yeah, there's the scar tissue, and then they find the bag in her throat that was like this cloth with like biblical and satanic writings and a molar in it. And the son realized it's hers. Yeah. And that's where the string is from. So they forced her to swallow it.
And there was like her lungs were black, like she had been burned, like breathing smoke.
Oh, and she had been corseted like severely. She had worn a corset so much that her waist and ribs were severely like damaged, like
they were too small for her.
And he's like, well, no one has done this in hundreds of years. Like, you know.
So they were talking about like everything that you're seeing is like this woman had been tortured, but there's no external signs of it.
I was like, oh, well, she's absolutely a witch. Like, hands down. A corset, internal injuries with no external, a witch. 100%.
Sorry, excuse me. The mic cuts it out.
We don't hear anything.
Oh, I just sneezed, everyone.
Bless you, my child.
So then they hear, I think like they hear a sound, and that's when the son goes to investigate something.
This was Laura's least favorite part of the movie.
So he sees something like, okay, they also have, you know when you're driving like in blind driveways, and so they have those like round mirrors, and so you can like see around corners. They have those, which is honestly brilliant to have.
I mean, honestly, for a morgue, like you're wheeling bodies, like, that makes sense,
right?
Absolutely,
right. So we see her, or the son sees her, and it freaks him out for a minute, but then it's gone.
Yeah.
So then he goes and he hears something in the vent. And so he's like putting up his ear to hear, and then he sees something, so he gets scared and falls down. And then he goes and he looks in the vent, and this is when I quit the movie.
Yeah, Aaron got very mad. He was like, this is unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
No, it is. But I will say, like, I still don't support it, but we're all talking about it, and it got us all upset. So like,
I'm not talking about it.
I'm just saying it had an effect.
I just feel like witches like cats.
I agree. But Stanley's dead. He's dying. So we don't really see, but he's got a very bloody little body and he dies.
Yeah, like
And
he's
this is the
alive, I
part.
say in quotes, you know, like, yeah.
This is the part that made Aaron so mad because Stanley finally passes. And so the son goes and puts him in the incinerator, like the crematorium. And Aaron was like, that is such bullshit. That thing is so expensive to run. They would never just run it for just the cat.
Just the
and
cat?
I was like, Aaron, I was like, on the podcast, we talk about how you have to suspend disbelief and reality for a minute. Like, it's okay. Let it go.
Just the cat. Has he not met the average pet owner?
That's worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Stanley.
And we do learn that Stanley was the mom.
Oh, that's where we learn. Oh, it was mom's. That's right. Oh, because the dad is like, well, he was an asshole anyways.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, but it was mom's. Right.
And I was very upset because also my cat, I've started to train him very well, and he now snuggles me on the couch at night every time I watch movies. He's doing very good. Oh. But I was just having a very hard time because he was on the couch with me and I was very upset.
Oh.
You know, it's so funny because like I feel like I like the darkest shit, right? And I don't need any sort of warning, like trigger warning, like I'm good. Show me the depth of despair. But don't fucking kill an animal. That's where I go.
Exactly.
That's like the one thing.
No.
Exactly.
I will watch humans deprave one another, but do not harm an animal.
Exactly. Yeah. Uncalled for.
Uncalled for.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Like you could have scared him so he ran into the storm. Okay, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been fine.
Yep.
But no.
So like it's escalating at this point because then they go and they open her skin and they see that she has like these markings that matched the little cloth.
Yes. But it's like inside.
But it's like
her
internal
skin.
tattoos.
Yeah. Like you couldn't see them on the outside. They're like inside.
And meanwhile, they're getting flood warnings on the radio.
Yeah, the weather is coming out of nowhere.
They're saying, oh, you're getting flood warnings. You're not leaving. If wherever you are, you're not going to go. We're going to get 3 feet of rain. It's going to be bad.
I did note, because I was like, isn't it wild how easily like we come apart as humans? Like when he's performing the autopsy, like it's just so, we think that we're this like, no, but we just fall right apart. You could just take a scalpel is the tiniest thing in the world and we're done. It's wild to me. I think that's why I wanted to be a mortician, you know? It's fascinating.
We're pretty squishy. We're pretty fragile.
So,
yeah. I thought you meant like mentally,
change.
You know? Like
that shit too.
You lock us in a basement. That's it.
That's even more fascinating.
Yep.
Damn.
But I think this movie is 2 halves. I think this was the first half of the movie where it was all this mystery. Mystery, what's it going to be? What does this all mean? And then I think the movie completely changed at this point.
Becomes very heavy-handed after this.
Because then the lights break. The lights like kind of explode. And then the dad's like, you know what? We got to get the fuck out of here. And a tree falls on the storm. And then at this point, it completely changes. It's a different movie.
Because then we hear the elevator. And it's running. And they're like, oh shit. Because now the panic sets in. They're dark. Like, there's something going on. There's something going on. And they can't make phone calls because the phone is dead and their cell phones don't have signal.
Yep.
And so we hear the elevator and I turned to Aaron and I was like, they're about to kill the girlfriend. I guarantee it. Because anytime, this is such a trope, anytime in a horror movie where like it's dark and there's confusion, when we met a random character in the beginning, they're going to kill someone because they think it's the killer and it's going to be the person they know, their mom, their friend, their whatever. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened.
They try calling on the landline to the cops and the cops like, we can't hear you. Because what happens is they run to a room to go to the landline to call the cops and they hear the little jingle bell.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. And it's coming closer and closer to the room. Yep. And so then they run to the elevator and they try to like go on the elevator to escape. And they see like the dead feet and the pounding on the door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because okay, so they haven't killed the girl yet because they're trapped in the room waiting.
Yes.
And the dad because earlier when the dad the kid had been alone, I think like looking for when he had heard Stanley
Right.
or the thing happening to Stanley, the dad had been in the room with Jane Doe and he was kind of cracking her ribs to do the autopsy and something had happened where he slipped and her cracked rib sliced his wrist.
Yeah.
So while they have run from the jingling bell corpse thing, the dad went to like rinse his wrist off in the bathroom. While he's doing that, the son is kind of separated from him. The son looks over and he sees like a shadow ghost. And so he's like, oh God. And then this invisible ghost thing starts like beating the shit out of the dad.
Yeah.
So the dad's like getting attacked in the bathroom by this like invisible devil demon ghost or something. It
was at this point that Aaron was like, the only thing that will stop it is to complete the autopsy. This man does not watch any movies, let alone horror movies. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Astute observation.
Sure enough, that's what they go to do. So they go back to the main autopsy room. All of the drawers? What are they called?
Yeah, the cadavers. They're all
the drawers are open.
They're all open
They're
and the
all
bodies
gone.
are gone. Like,
But they get locked into the room.
of course they do.
So like the son is like axing at the door to try to like get out. And then you see this part was a little fakes. Like you see like one of the dead bodies is like guarding the door to stop them from getting out.
Like anytime in a horror movie someone looks into something and we see their eyeball, it's going to be a jump scare.
Especially when it's like
sure.
It's like
It's like shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
So they realize that it's like, okay, well, the son, I think at this point is more convinced that it's her. Like she is somehow doing this. So they try to light her on fire.
Yes. And I was like, that is the dumbest. You're all about to fucking die.
Oh, see, I would have lit her on fire, I think.
What? You're in that locked room with her.
No, solid first step. I think that's the only way you can get rid of her.
But I would have light her on fire.
What if something catches on fire?
Well, they were fine.
Yeah. But
dumb as hell.
Then you're right. You would have, yeah. So then everything else catches on fire. So then they have to like extinguish everything else. But then the fire goes out on her and she's fine.
Well, and also the reason why it was so freaking dumb is that her lungs had damage and that obviously didn't do it. So why would you think your fire would do it?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Anna.
But then they hear the elevator. So they're like, oh shit, like somebody's coming.
Like now we can go. Oh, because the power had gone off and they had like the generator.
And then it came back on.
So the first time they went, they were like, there's not enough power. So that's why they couldn't take the elevator earlier. But it's like, okay, maybe now it's going.
Right.
And so then, I don't know.
So now they get in.
Then they get into the elevator and then they hear the dead man walking toward them. And so then the dad's like, well, shit, I gotta kill it.
Because they try closing the elevator door, but then it gets stuck. So like they can't leave and the shadow is approaching.
It's not a shadow.
It's not a shadow.
It's exactly Emma. That's the only other name I got.
It's exactly who we knew it would be. It's the girlfriend.
It's the girlfriend.
She's toast.
So
like, of course.
Yeah.
Of course that's it. You didn't hear the bell, so you should have known it wasn't a body.
But you know what?
I'm just saying.
Are high at this point.
But they fucking gut her, so she's gone. She's gone quick.
Yeah.
This family has had a long night.
The son has like a little bit of a breakdown, but then the son and the dad get into the elevator and they have this little heart to heart about like the mom and how the mom struggled with mental health. And,
I also loved the wallpaper in the elevator, by the way. That was phenomenal.
So.
But then they start to realize, like the son, he's like, well, why hasn't she killed us yet?
Yes.
And then he's thinking like, there's something she's tried to stop us every time we've tried to get further and further into the autopsy. There's something that she's stopped us from finding. Like, I think it's that every time we've gotten close to finding out how she died or something like that, we have to finish the autopsy.
At this point, Aaron was like, maybe it's Jesus.
Okay, I
the
actually
biblical references the reincarnated body. He was like, maybe she's Jesus.
Yeah, see, I didn't think witch. I was like, what if she's Jesus?
I was like, that would be a twist we did not see coming. So actually, I'm going to take this off of the podcast so we can make this movie, because I think we would throw people for a loop. Set it up like a witch, but just kidding. It's fucking Jesus.
Okay, well, I'm happy Aaron thought it too, because that's what
Hey, you know,
nobody would expect
really,
that.
what's the difference, honestly?
Exactly. Witch, Jesus, tomato.
Who's to say? Who's to say?
So they're like, all right, let's finish this autopsy.
Yeah.
And for some reason, she had decided to like create a bunch of smoke. So they have to go through all this.
Yeah, it's like foggy in there now.
Yeah,
it's foggy.
Yeah. The lights are blinking. Like
the dad gets like attacked.
He's getting attacked.
Yeah, we like don't see. It's so stupid. Like
this was pretty. So they go through the fog. They get inside, and this is when they decide to trick her brain, because that's the one thing they hadn't done yet. So they do the little like cut around the top and look at the brain, and they take like a little piece, and the son looks at it under the microscope. And he's like, oh my God. And then he's like, what is it? And he's like, I just look for yourself. I can't. So
she's alive.
Yes, the brain is alive.
Is alive. But
why didn't they just fucking take the brain out?
Now, as we have discovered and discussed on this podcast, I'm no doctor. But from my understanding, when brain tissue is alive, it doesn't swim around frantically like that.
It does not.
That's not how you know a brain is alive.
But like, really, why didn't they just take the brain out?
Honestly,
just sever it. They have a scalpel, just literally
because the brain tissue was alive when you pull it out.
Yeah, but if you sever it from the body, maybe it wouldn't be. Put it in the incinerator.
But they did. They took a piece off, and
it was still alive when you pulled it apart. So. And then they look at
maybe that's how Jesus lived for 3 days.
Maybe
just a little,
I mean, it is almost Easter at the time of this recording, so
true.
Happy Easter.
It'll be way
past.
It'll be way past it by the time it's released, though.
Yeah, well, but
the spirit is alive and well, so
that's true. But yeah, then they like go back to the cloth and they realize that it's Leviticus 27.
Yeah, they just have a Bible down there.
1693 and AKA 1693 and is the year of the Salem witch trial.
She was a witch.
And then I did like this line that the dad said, because when they realize when she was a witch, he said, what? Because he talks about basically all of the torture that they put her through. And he said, what if the ritual performed on an innocent created the very thing they were trying to destroy? Which I just thought that was really kind of poetic.
It was poetic.
No, I liked the I don't know, like the way they executed the whole ending. Maybe not my favorite, but I kind of like the theory of like, okay, well, yeah, what if this is just like over the years, all the shit they did to this quote unquote witch, and like that's why she has this power. I kind of like the explanation.
I did too.
Well, because then they realize like we're not alive to kind of like witness or to discover. They're like, oh shit, we're alive for revenge.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're here for her to take revenge on us.
Yeah.
And so then the dad basically realizes it won't stop until she takes her revenge. So he tries to sacrifice himself. And he was like, I won't put up a fight. Do what you have to me, but please leave my son alone. And then instantly he starts to like burn from the inside out, and all of his ankles and wrists start to break, and he's like,
Mhm.
agony, the poor thing.
Yeah, it's just everything we knew happened to her, we
Right.
saw happening to him. Mhm.
Yeah.
But she was like healing
Yes.
because we see her
Right.
wrists.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, she's just healing, getting
As
hotter.
he suffers, she heals.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And so then the son, like the dad is like, please, to the son, and because he's reaching for a knife,
Mhm.
and the son doesn't want to, but he,
Right.
takes
Yeah.
mercy on his dad and stabs him. And then I'm just over here wondering, because then we're hearing that the tree so the dad dies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're hearing that then the tree that's over the storm door is getting sawed. And I'm like, how the fuck is this son gonna explain this
Mhm.
dead, like his dead stabbed
Oh no, we were
dad
like, he's going to jail.
and his
100%.
axed girlfriend?
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way he's getting
No,
out
he's
of
going to
this.
jail.
Mhm. Yeah.
He's going to jail. Well, and it
Mhm.
was so funny because like it was still like weirdly smoky.
Mhm.
And Aaron was like, yeah, they're just sitting in the Stanley smoke.
No.
He's like, you are not allowed to watch movies with me anymore. Get out of here.
No.
Yeah.
So the son hears them outside.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the sheriff. Like, they're like cutting the tree. They're like, we're going to get you out. He's like, on the cellar door. And then the sheriff starts saying, like, yeah, just open the door, like just let it. And he's like,
Sunshine.
yep. And we see like the song just starts playing. We realize
like he starts singing.
they're
The
not
sheriff
there.
is like, sunshine. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh fuck.
Because
Yep.
when he starts hearing the song, then at first it sounds like it's the sheriff, but then it sounds like it's his dad's voice,
Mm-hmm.
and then he looks over and kind of jump scared. There's his dad.
Yep.
And so then the son gets freaked out and then backs away from his dad in a panic,
Mm-hmm.
falls over the railing, falls to his death.
Yep.
Yeah.
So at least he didn't have to explain anything.
Right? Because
Nope.
honestly, he would be in prison for life.
Mhm.
So, you know, he was fucked either way.
So then we cut to the outside of the mortuary
Mhm.
and we see the cops are there. And they're going in and they're discovering the scene.
Mhm.
But while they're inside the Jane Doe body, no autopsy.
Mm-mm.
Not a
She isn't
scratch.
cut open.
Nope. She's in perfect condition again.
She's just fine. And then we hear on the radio, they're like, and it's like the 4th day straight of clear blue skies and sunshine. And so you realize that a lot of that must have just not happened.
Exactly.
Yep.
Mhm.
It was all orchestrated by the witch.
Mhm.
And I always wonder in these moments where I'm like, so was everything we just watched all in their heads
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like they were just sitting there chilling, but really they were like fighting for their life in their minds.
Yeah.
Wild.
Well, and it's like all the deaths were stuff they did,
Yes.
Right.
right? Like the son, he stabbed the dad.
Yes.
The dad axed Emma. Even like Stanley. I mean,
Even
they
Stanley.
put
Exactly.
in
Mhm.
like the son just fell off the railing.
Yeah, they should
like,
have had Stanley run by.
Oh my god.
Oh, they should have had Stanley
You know?
run by. That would have saved
made
it.
us all feel
That
better.
would've-
Oh,
that would've
missed
saved the movie.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
That would have saved the movie for
It
me.
really would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
there was the ending.
Mm-hmm.
So then they wheel, because the cop is like, get her out of my county. Because he
Yeah,
knows
'cause-
Jane Doe's bad news.
No, because he's like, I know them. They
Yeah, he's
would
like,
not.
this-
do
something's
this.
wrong.
Whatever this is, whatever happened here. Yeah, get her out of my county.
Mm-hmm. So then another cop is taking her out. And as he's driving away, we hear that same Sunshine song.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love this, like, so like it's like singing Let the Sunshine In. And as
Mhm.
he's driving, it pans to the back of the truck where we see her body with a little toe
Mhm.
tag on that says Jane Doe, and it just a little wiggle, and we hear the little ding 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 ding. Perfect ending.
Right.
So good.
Such a
Mhm.
good one.
Right.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
It was a good ending.
It was.
Honestly, it was just a fun movie. Like, I feel like this was just a good, like, I want a spooky vibe. Like, yeah, if it's like a dark, stormy night and you just want a spooky vibe, like, this
had
a perfect movie.
Because the music was good, not the song, but like the actual music in the movie, the imagery, the lighting, the vibes.
Like, this isn't like some masterpiece. Like, it was, some of it was pretty like predictable.
Cheesy.
The story was like, not that complicated. They were in one room, but like the acting from all three actors,
honestly,
because she counts.
Yes. 100%.
I did not see her move. It was really good. Like, it was just
Agreed.
like, it was just solid. Like, classic spooky little mystery. Mm-hmm.
And a very unique story, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Before we forget again, should we talk about what we're sipping on?
Every time.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's like we haven't done this before.
100 times.
I'm obviously sipping on something, but not the drink.
What's so funny? I was thinking about it when you were talking about the
blood.
No. Having a mental breakdown.
Give us something to work off. Any words?
It was like the chemical thing that was in. Oh, fuck me.
Strychnine?
Strychnine!
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you were talking about the strychnine, I thought about it because the strychnine made me think of formaldehyde.
Okay, so Laura suggested a cocktail because she was like, I want it to be about fluids.
Mm-hmm.
So she found us a fluid cocktail, you guys. Laura, why don't you tell us what we're sipping on?
It's fluids.
It's fluid.
It's not strychnine.
We're drinking strychnine, motherfuckers. Let's go.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Okay, we are drinking the Kool-Aid.
Okay, so in keeping with the theme of morticians and, that stuff, I thought formaldehyde themes, embalming fluid. How about the embalming fluid cocktail?
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Google for this, like,
dead body fluid cocktail.
I Googled
formaldehyde drinks.
I Googled the following: formaldehyde themed cocktail recipe.
That would do it.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be on a list.
Yeah,
and I got
we're
the
all on
following.
a list. 100%.
Oh, don't worry. I Googled it in incognito mode.
Oh, because that counts.
No, you're fine then. Yeah.
Well, just to make sure it was a thing, and then once it was a thing, because I wanted to be able to actually, because you can't share screenshots of incognito mode.
Mm-hmm.
So then once I knew it was a thing, then I Googled it in regular, because it is a thing, and it's called the embalming fluid cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
So it is 1.5 ounces of Mandarin. And honestly, it sounds really good. I didn't have these ingredients, so I didn't make it tonight. But it's 1.5 ounces of Mandarin vodka, 1/2 ounce of sour apple mix, 1/2 ounce lime juice, 4 ounces of ginger ale, and then just a couple drops of green food coloring.
To get the right,
just to make it look.
It sounds so good, though.
Like
I love all those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could also do just a tiny bit of like the like blue Midori instead of the food coloring. If you want it just to look like a little bit more murky, you could do that instead, which would also just give it a little bit of sweetness as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's a good spring drink, just in general. Like, I feel like all of those flavors give spring to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that
formaldehyde in the spring,
formaldehyde in the spring.
Something about formaldehyde.
Just really makes me want to frolic in a field of daisies.
And we could call this episode Jane Doe's Formaldehyde.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, get yourself some formaldehyde and get sipping it. Sounds delish.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Honestly, it does sound really good.
It really does.
I'm excited to make it once I get the ingredients, but I'm just very busy. I didn't have time to go to the liquor store.
Yeah, that's okay. All right. Well, you hinted a little bit, but I'm excited to see where we're going. Just remember, unlike the mortician, she is not a real doctor. Morticians aren't doctors, though, right?
They are, I think.
I mean, don't they have to get like
are you called like doctor? Whatever.
I'm not sure if all of them, but I believe that some morticians have a doctor's level license.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe not.
Well,
I could be making that up.
no,
I mean, they definitely get education, like
No, it's
further like
hard.
medical education.
It's a
and stuff,
freaking
right?
process.
All right, someone look that up while I talk about the color gray.
Okay, so yeah, just remember, not like a mortician. She's not a real doctor, but that's okay because this isn't real. Unlike the Salem witch trials.
Yes.
So not so Dr. Roller, take it away.
Well, not only am I talking about morbid curiosity, but I'm also talking about the Salem witch trials. And I'm also talking about the color gray.
Because why not?
So I'm touching lightly on several topics tonight. So the first, because sometimes we talk about colors and what they mean in psychology. And what I thought was really striking in this movie was the color of Jane Doe's eyes.
Oh, the like cloudy.
This cloudy gray.
Yes.
It was just so striking. And I felt like the people who made the movie made such efforts to make her eyes so dominant that I thought we should take the effort to talk about them. So what's really interesting is what the color gray can psychologically represent.
Interesting.
So it doesn't always mean these things. It can mean others, but I wanted to point out what sometimes gray can symbolize. It can sometimes symbolize neutrality, balance, and isolation. And here's why I found that interesting. When you think of Jane as being both possibly the victim and then the aggressor in this witch, both like the person who was the victim of the witch trials and then the person that victimized people as the witch, I thought that was really interesting, is that maybe she's this kind of neutral vessel, that she was attacked by people and she was, she was tortured and then she became the torturer. So she kind of like, did she create this sort of balance in the universe, kind of taking on this torture and these accusations and this blame from people, but then kind of putting all this evil and this blame onto other innocent people. I thought that was kind of interesting that they chose that color gray for her.
I agree.
Because maybe she is this kind of neutral vessel, which really makes her kind of not neutral at all.
Well, right.
But that's why not only is it gray, but then it's murky.
No, you know what? I like that because the one thing that Aaron was like, all right, my final review is he was like, it is an interesting take because the monster of the movie doesn't do anything. The monster just lays there. Nothing is actually, they don't do anything. And so I think that's interesting because that totally ties in where like it's kind of this gray area.
Yes.
If you will.
Yes.
But really.
No, literally. Yeah.
I like this. I like this.
So I actually really liked the eye and kind of how representative it is.
Because they make a big deal that they're gray.
Yes.
Like they talk about it multiple times.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, they're so unnerving because they're not natural. Okay. Did you find anything out about morticians?
Yes. Okay. So morticians are not doctors.
Oh, okay. Son of a bitch.
Which, they have to go to like a mortuary, like school. So it's like a separate schooling with an apprenticeship. Whereas like doctors, get like a medical degree. But then there's medical examiners, which I feel like is what threw me off. Because
those are doctors, right?
They are board certified, like forensic pathologist. So like they have they're normally like a doctor.
Yeah,
I know about them because of Law and Order SVU. Thank you.
Yes.
The Emmy.
And so it almost seemed like these guys were medical, or at least the dad was a medical examiner because he was providing causes of death.
Well, and they make the police.
Yes, they make a big deal that like the son is not. Like they distinguish multiple times that the dad is the qualified. So he might actually be a medical examiner.
And then he might be like an apprentice or a training. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
Because I guess that's true. Not all morticians are medical examiners.
Mm-hmm.
Like not a lot of bodies don't need a medical exam. So they just go to the mortician
Yeah.
Mhm.
if it's
And then
not a crime.
And then there's coroners, which I guess may or may not be doctors, depending
Okay.
on like what
Okay.
like the local laws and requirements. And
Okay.
stuff.
I
So
know that because of CSI. Thank you.
yes.
I'm very educated in the field.
So I think it's fair to ask if they were doctors because
Okay.
those are
Mhm.
all I get all of those mixed up.
Mhm. Mhm.
If any of you are listening out there and you are any of these things, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd
Please.
love to hear your hot take
Honestly, yes.
and
Yeah.
how I could get a job. So
Yes.
thank you.
How Brianna can get a job. I'm
Yes.
not.
Oh yeah, no, me. I really
I'd
would
be
love
really
it.
bad at it.
You would be you would be like, I can cut, but I can't look. So I just
yeah,
gotta
as
go
long as
for
I
it.
can do it with my eyes closed.
Yeah, and I need music on, like cute music, and
Yes.
we'll be fine. Yeah.
So, in contrast to Yvette, let's get a little bit into the psychology behind Emma and Brianna.
Mm-hmm.
So, Emma is the girlfriend in the movie, and also Brianna. And the psychology we're going to delve into these two ladies is morbid curiosity.
Morbid curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a woman named Suzanne Oosterwich.
Oh, I know her well.
She did a study in 2017 about why do we want to view death.
I love death.
Fair.
And
I
so
love it
she
well.
looked into morbid curiosity. And so she kind of studied why do people choose not only to not avoid negative social content like death, violence, and harm. Why do they choose not only to not avoid it, but they actively seek it out? So, in the study that she did, people more often than not, if given the choice to view it, choose it over something neutral. So, like, if they're like, oh, hey, you can view something neutral, or you can view something that is like, ugh, like something that's like harmful, violent, death.
Wait, are you saying most people choose that?
Most people will choose to view the thing that's violent.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, they'll want to like look at the death.
You
I know, but I just feel like at least most of the people I know, like they might be like, yeah, that's cool, but when it comes down to it, they don't want to see it.
No,
like they look away. They don't like the,
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like the curiosity must get people.
It's
like,
that's what it is. It's morbid curiosity. Now, this was in this controlled study, so it could be like I didn't look at all the details because it was a little short on time tonight. So it could have been like I don't know all the details of her study. Was it like, hey, there's a picture of death or a picture of a park? Which one do you want to see? I don't know what exactly the details of her study were. But in this study, people chose a slight majority of the people chose the harmful thing.
So before you go into the psychology of it, quick poll. If you were in a morgue, would you want to see a dead body?
No.
I would.
Okay.
I would see it.
Interesting. Yeah. Even if it was like vicious. Like it would fuck you over. Like not a cute sleep, not like her, not like this pretty dead body, but like the face gone or the burn to death.
Yeah. I've been in a situation where I've been exposed to a dead body like a couple of times, and each time I have looked. But I did look. I didn't have to, but I did.
I think I would.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a dead body.
It was a morbid curiosity.
Yeah. So why do we do that?
Okay, so a lot of times people will look, even if they think they'll regret it, even if it is off-putting. A lot of time people will look, and so this Suzanne Oosterwich had once she did this study and she found that a lot of times people will look, she has some theories as to why she thinks people do it. So after she did all of this analysis, she has some hypothesis as to why she thinks they do. So she suspects that it's not just for sensation seeking, like for like arousal or for like having these intense emotions. She doesn't think it's just about that. She thinks it's for this epistemic motivation.
Oh, that's a
What-
new word.
Safety words over here. Yeah.
Which is just a fancy way of saying to get information about the world.
Okay.
So
Oh.
she thinks that you can do this easier from negative experiences because they stick with you more. So think about like these experiences you have where it's negative or it's something that it's like traumatic or it's harmful. It sticks in your brain a lot of times more than these mundane or lighthearted memories because it's traumatic. So you learn really well from it because it's traumatic.
Yeah.
Because it's negative. So it's a good way to learn about the world because it's jarring.
Yeah. And like, I also think part of it, and I think this is why like I found it so fascinating when they were like cutting into her, is that like, I want to know that about myself. Like, that sounds weird, but like, I'm like, the human body is so fragile, but also so like complex at the same time that I think it's interesting to see where we go in that state. Like once we are either dying or dead, like how does that play out? I want to see what that experience is.
Yes, exactly. So that's exactly my next point. So it helps you learn about social and biological situations. It helps you learn about others' experiences, and it's a safe way to be scared and to learn. So, okay, is it safe for you to learn about internal organs by looking at your own body and like, cutting yourself open and learn? Absolutely not. But is it safe for you to do it by looking at someone who has already passed on? Yeah, that's a good safe way for you to figure out how medically to heal or to, bandage things and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's actually and it's a good way to gain some empathy and some moral responsibility by learning from others that are in that situation.
Yeah.
So yes, it's morbid curiosity and it kind of is like that shock value, but actually it has a really good biologic.
Yeah, there's depth there.
Yeah. And moral kind of it actually serves a really good psychological purpose, not just like people are kind of sick. Like have a sick fascination.
Right, that's too reductive.
No, yeah.
That's too reductive.
Right.
It's not just
agree.
that. Now, some people are kind of like that, but
of course.
a lot of the times it actually has like a good, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I think I'm tired tonight. I'm not
I don't know.
survivalist.
No, but yeah, I mean, I think it's for the same reason that actually a lot of horror fans have like mental health struggles because like there is something very cathartic. Hey, I can say for certain that I've got a lot of those, so I definitely do. But I think part of the reason is because like it is almost cathartic. Like when you've got these struggles or these curiosities or these thoughts already, when actually seeing more of it doesn't make it worse, it actually makes it better. It's like a salve, like it soothes that part because you're like, oh, okay, this is something we go through.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, that makes sense.
It's a good distant way for you to kind of work through those feelings without actually having to, go through it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there is a good psychological reason why Emma wanted to see the dead body.
Yeah.
I get it.
And little did she know how close she was to being one herself.
Right. Right.
Okay. And then we're not going to go, we'll go a little bit into it. And I realized I can't believe we haven't talked about this before. Witches.
Oh my God.
I love them. They're like, my final review was like, you know what, girl, go ahead. You do you. Like,
yeah.
So I know we've done
Mm-hmm.
movies with witches before.
Yeah.
And obviously, we all know about the Salem witch trials.
Of course, but of course.
But you guys, I did a little bit of a deep dive into the Salem witch trials.
It's fucking wild.
It's wild. So let's talk a little bit about the psychology of the Salem witch trials and
very
how
excited for this.
Kicked off it got me.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Okay. Is it more about the psychology or the sociology or the religiosity? I don't know.
I think that's all intertwined.
Okay. So the Salem witch trials, it all had to do really, and it's about it all happened in like 1693, 1694. It stems from basically conformity and religious doctrine. And it's all, and I know we've talked about this before, but it's all from the patriarchy.
Fucking men.
Because they're always bringing us down.
So it's this patriarchal society that was just massive at this time. And did you know that it wasn't just like the New England patriarchy and society that happened? They also had witch trials in Europe at around the same time.
Yeah.
And in the South. Like it was not just the Salem witch trial. There were other witch trials.
But we're going to focus on like the Salem ones. So this patriarchal, puritanical beliefs that just really emphasized strict conformity. It had a huge negative impact on women, especially, and this is something that doesn't really get highlighted, I don't think, in a lot of the lore and the tales that we get told, how much of it was really about women of racial and ethnic minorities. We always see like the white women witches. That actually wasn't so much about that.
Yes. And a lot of times they did not have children. Sometimes they did, but a lot of times, and I think that's what made them a threat, was they were women without children. And I was like, what are you doing here then?
Because a lot of times they were like 9 and 11-year-olds.
Well, right.
Yeah. So it was very much this like religious fanaticism that was like this huge thing in this Massachusetts society. And so anything that was negative, anything that like was kind of unexplained was seen as supernatural and witchy. And then anything that was like secular or non-religious, so anyone that wasn't viewed as Puritan, was dangerous. Again, especially if you weren't white. And motherfucking Samuel Paris. I didn't know who this motherfucker was, but he was this.
We're about to find out.
Oh, just you wait.
He was this dickbag where he was this priest guy or pastor guy or whatever, and he was kind of like this like religious leader, and he had this Native American slave Tituba. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but he had these daughters that didn't like her, and so they accused her of being a witch, and this started the whole thing.
Nice.
So he had these little daughters, and they were like, we don't like her. So they accused her of being a witch. And then it led to like 19 people being accused of being witches and killed. It's awful. It's so shitty. And it's just crazy how it snowballs.
Yeah. Mob mentality.
So let's talk about the psychology of how this shit can get out of control. So, and how it kind of, I think, can parallel with what happened in Jane Doe. So one thing is confirmation bias. So this is a cognitive tendency that we humans in general can search for things that are going to confirm our pre-existing beliefs and hypothesis. So, in Salem witch hunts and witch trials, you're going to think the witches exist. you're going to see someone do something that is not conforming to your religion. They maybe, I don't know, let's think of something that, okay, maybe in today's world, maybe you have depression. So maybe you cry for a reason that doesn't make sense to anyone else. So in our world, we realize, okay, that's maybe you have hormones or you're depressed or something. But in that culture, it's unexplained. You believe witches exist, so you're confirming your bias that, oh, they're a witch.
Oh my God. Or something like epilepsy.
Oh,
right?
of course.
Where it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Right.
Even worse. Yeah. Or even easier to do. Yeah.
Right.
But like it also can happen, especially kind of happened the reverse in Jane Doe with the men. So they kind of actually had the opposite. They believe science is real. They don't believe in the supernatural. So they believe that Jane is a victim. So they actually have the reverse confirmation bias. They believe she's a victim. They believe that witches do not exist. So that the whole first half of the movie, everything that they are uncovering in the autopsy, they're confirming, oh well, I'm trying to think of like how to explain it, but they're trying to medically explain it away.
They're trying to find a medical reason where there really isn't one.
There couldn't be.
Yeah.
Like
it's not possible.
You could not have burned lungs and scarring in your heart.
No.
With zero outward, like it physically is impossible.
No.
But they're medically explaining away, which is actually impossible.
No, it is.
But they're doing it anyway. But
right.
like medically, that's impossible, but they're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
But then there's also something called cognitive dissonance, which is like where you have this mental discomfort when you have kind of these two contradictory beliefs, or when your behavior conflicts with your beliefs. So like kind of like what the men were sort of doing, where like they believe in science, but then they're like saying, oh well, she had to have been, there has to be a medical explanation, but there actually couldn't be.
Right.
Like they're trying to like explain things away, but they know in their,
they're using their knowledge to fill in the gaps where it doesn't fit.
So they're actually kind of doing the exact same thing that the Puritans did in the Salem witch trials, where they maybe know that these are perfectly normal women, or maybe they are just the ex-friend of Samuel Parris's daughters that like maybe just pissed them off, and they know that that one girl did something wrong, and so like they know that she did nothing wrong, but they're gonna still accuse her of being a witch anyway, because you can't argue with the minister or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things where like people kind of get carried away because other people say something, and like you kind of do follow this mob mentality where a lot of times you just kind of go with the group think because just so many people say something. Or the reverse, in the situation with the men in the basement, they don't get any outside opinions. They're like kind of alone in an island. So they like are kind of just making up things on their own. They like don't get any outside input. They feel like kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, kind of the parallels between how you can get carried away with your own thoughts and feelings and beliefs based off of an absence or like an excess of external junk coming in, or internal junk. So I don't know. There's so much more we could get into it, but I don't want to talk too much about the witch trials because I feel like maybe we should do just like
yeah. So I was like, I think we need to come back to this one because
like a
we could
full on,
a full 2 more hours.
Oh, we totally could. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I have so much more on it, but I feel like I kind of want to save it. Just think about, look some stuff up and get pissed off about.
It's
about
easy
Samuel Parrish
to get mad.
Yeah. I think we have to come back to the witch trial for sure.
Let's come back to it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
well,
I'm going to stop there.
Interesting.
I'm going to stop there so we can just ponder it.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Long story short.
We can cut some of that out because I feel like I kind of lost steam a bit.
No. Long story short, be a witch. Men, no. Not so much.
No. Well, and my little fun fact section is a lot shorter, so I feel like that works. That we did a longer psych. Yeah, because I did not find as much like background stuff for this movie, so I just kind of went completely random places. So I did watch an interview with the director and then the 2 actors that played the father and son. And one just like story that I thought was fun is that they did have an actual mortician on set just to like go and like, you know, talk to them and like give them advice and stuff. And I love the way they talked about him. His name was Stuart, the mortician. And they just said he was so weird. Like it was just like
I feel like you have to be,
right. Like I think that just it comes with
the territory.
Yeah. So they were asking him like, oh, like should we be wearing like masks for the scene? You know, like a medical like mask while they like do the autopsy. And he was just like, oh no, I don't really do that. Honestly, like I don't even wear gloves sometimes. Like it's
what's the worst is they're already dead.
Like it's just like, like it's fine. And
like they wash their hands and use sanitizer a few times in the scenes. It's like
good enough.
They're already dead. It's fine.
And like they would like ask him like, oh, like so what are you like doing, you know, like outside of work and stuff. He's just like nothing. I don't do
this is
anything. I don't go anywhere. Like it was just
dead bodies are my life. Well, I respect
There's something about morticians, I think, that just
I'm telling you,
you get a certain group of people.
I would prefer that to be my coworkers, like you guys. Hey, what a dream!
Yeah, wow.
No, not for you. You guys aren't my coworkers. You're my co-pods.
Okay, and then since I couldn't find as many fun facts, I decided to just go off on random tangents.
Yes.
So then, from the name of this movie, I was like, where do we get John and Jane Doe?
Okay, I was going to ask that. So thank you.
Like, do these people exist? Did they exist ever? Where did this come from?
Yeah, why?
So that's the tangent I decided to go on.
I'm
so for anyone who didn't know, John or Jane Doe is just like a placeholder name. We use it in the US, they use it in Canada, the UK, so a bunch of different legal systems. I think even like New Zealand, Australia has like their own version of just like a placeholder name. There's a few variations. I think John and Jane Doe are like the big ones, but you might see like John or Jane Roe is another one. John or Jane Smith. Sometimes like blogs I saw. Johnny or Janny Doe or like Baby Doe. They have if it's like an unidentified like child. So some variation of that is just like a placeholder everyman name. And it dates back to the 14th century.
Okay.
Like,
I did not expect that.
No, like, I had no idea where this came. I thought it was like, oh, there must have been some like trial where that's where we got the name. Like I made wild jumps on where I thought this was coming from.
I was thinking like the 60s or something.
Yeah. Right.
No, it goes back to like the 14th century. It was just like a random name that they came up with specifically for like real estate disputes. Like it's such a like random thing. So like no one actually knows why they chose these names. The assumption is like maybe they were just common like in the area, and so that's what they went with. But it was basically for like legal disputes under like King Edward III's reign, where when there would be this like landlord, like tenant. And I think I say landlord tenant, but this isn't like evicting a tenant. This was more just like back in the day, you couldn't like prove you owned a property.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like it is today where, you know, like if someone sells you
Deeds.
something and it's, yeah, like the deed isn't there. Like back then it was like, I don't know, you own this property to the river, you know, it's like, okay. And then if
Right.
that person sells it to someone else, like who owns it now? Like it was more for stuff like that. The way that these like landlords would bring it to court is that the fictional, like the plaintiff was John Doe and the defendant was Richard Roe. That's the names that were used because I guess it was hard to like create a case. So it was like, well, you just create one for a fake person.
Right.
And that'll get the ball rolling in the legal
This
system.
is a much duller explanation
It's
than
not.
I was hoping for.
I was like, I bet there's going to be some crazy trial or
it's
something.
It's as dull as the name.
Right.
Literally.
Like I was excited.
14th century real estate
disputes. Okay, but here's my follow-up question. Does anyone actually have the last name of Doe?
So there are people, and I think the New York Times did an article on him. Who there was a guy named John Doe.
Don't do that to your kid.
He was just talking about like how difficult life was, like getting through secure, like TSA.
Don't do that to your child.
People just assumed that he was trying to scam people. So I think it was the New York Times an interview with someone with the name, and it was
kind
terrible.
of a dick move, you know.
Yeah.
Like don't just fucking don't. It's not funny. No.
Yeah. And then I think the most famous example of like a John Doe is like Roe v. Wade. So Roe is also like a commonly used one. I think they even filed one under Jane Doe as opposed to like Roe. So I think there's a Doe v. Wade and a Roe.
Okay,
so,
right.
Yeah, I think that's like the most popular example for it. And then it just kind of grew into the US. Like in the 1800s, we also started using that as just like a placeholder name.
Interesting.
So I was like, I bet there's going to be a crime that I can talk about, and like their name is going to be Jane Doe or something. No, it's old real estate.
Just legality.
So not interesting.
All right.
Unfun facts.
You never know.
Okay, but then the other random thing that I went down is I wanted to look at the bells since he talked about putting a bell on the toes. So then that took me to the safety coffins, which were a thing in the 18th and 19th century because they didn't quite know if people were, you know, dead.
Well, that's fair.
And so there were all of these patents came out for these like safety coffins. So there were kind of like a few variations. There was the bell system. So they would bury someone, but then they would tie a string to their hand or foot and run like a little tube. So then that way, if they were alive, they can just ring the bell.
I love this.
Some of them just put like air vents so that way, if they were alive, they could one, breathe, and then two, like use it as like a speaking kind of trumpet.
Hello.
I want to know how often this happened.
Not very often. I don't think this really saved anyone. But I love how many people went into it.
Yes.
Like, so many patents were created, so many versions of it. There were some that had like flags, like there would be like a trigger, you know, that would like set off a flag.
Yes.
There were some that had
like, you know, when you're on a boat and something happens, what do they call it? A flare?
Yes.
They should have a little flare.
Like a little, no, there were some that had lights. Like it would be like, you know, they'll have like a spring-loaded flag or like a lamp that would turn on. There were so many
very
variations.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I think instead of maybe having all of these safety coffins, maybe find a better solution to ensure that the people aren't alive.
Well, I mean, we got there.
Look, we got there eventually.
Like maybe that should be the thing you focus on. Like maybe you ensure that they're not alive or that they are.
That's not as exciting.
Well,
I want theatrics.
Well, there was actually a group that felt how you felt, Laura, which was maybe we should just make sure that we check people are actually dead. And they were called the London Association for the Prevention of Premature Burial.
Like, you guys, how do we get on the board of these things? Like, we don't have any...
They came up in my research.
That's what I'm saying.
If I had the possibility to be on that kind of board, fucking would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, see, I'd be the one being like, how do we spring load
We've
a
taken the
firework?
frivolity out of everything.
That's all I'm saying.
We're so dull now. Like, boo.
Yes. So then I just honestly, like, then I was like just curious about these patents. So I just looked up patents for safety coffins and would recommend, so you can find
Okay, Googling it now.
Like schematics for the safety coffins. But I just, as for my, I don't have any more fun facts. So I'm just going to read you like the first 2 paragraphs of this patent application.
Yeah.
Okay. To all whom it may concern is the application for this version of one.
I'm going to start my emails like that from now on.
No, right. Yeah. To all whom it may concern, be it known that I, Johan Joub Tulin, architect, a subject of the Queen of the Netherlands, residing at whatever this address is, have invented certain new and useful improvements in safety coffins, of which the following is a specification. This invention relates to an improved safety coffin that is designated for the purpose of enabling persons who are only apparently dead and have been prematurely buried to be readily rescued, and also for the purpose of enabling such persons to get out of the coffin.
Like, I want to pull up my most recent email that I sent that was just so fucking dull that I'm like, when did we lose that?
I know. Mm-hmm.
As a society.
Yeah, no, I'm starting all my emails with, to all whom it may concern, be it known that
Be it known.
That's be it known. We don't say be it known. No. Be it fucking known, okay?
Be it known.
Honestly, I think tomorrow I will be writing an email that contains that.
I think I might just start doing it exclusively so people think that like I'm a Victorian vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't have enough of that in my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they end it with, like, they have, like, witnesses. So this is real. I mean, it's a patent application. But we can send our emails ending it this way, which is, in testimony whereof I have hereunto set my hand in presence of 2 subscribing wit, and that included the witnesses' names.
You guys! That's it.
We can be each other's subscribing witnesses.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
hereunto set my hand in the presence of you 2.
Mm-hmm.
Will you send that to me? Because that's our next Insta caption. So please send that to me. That is what I'm captioning our posts surrounding this. We're signing off from now on.
Absolutely.
With that shit.
Yes.
Eloquent. Like, I don't even know what you're saying, but I want to keep listening.
No,
you know?
I know, right? I was just
I'm confused.
For fun.
I'm intrigued. I'm all in.
I'm moved.
Bob.
Yeah. I'm moved, Bob.
Completely sort of related to the movie is where I decided to go.
I think that's
I love
the
it.
way to go.
I want to know, I feel like in order to get into the safety coffin business, I'm guessing at least a few of these people had to have had an encounter with someone who needed one. You know, like...
Right. Like where did this come from?
Someone has a story.
Mm-hmm. Someone has a story. Someone dug their way out from the earth.
Or knew someone who didn't. Or tried.
I feel like there have to have been people that, like, again, I don't know why there were so many versions of it, considering this didn't really help that many people.
Something was going on.
Having, like, a spring-loaded flag. I think these were just inventors that saw a new thing to make.
And they were like, but what if?
You know what? Yeah, what if inside there was a button? And that
there's
button...
There's got to at least be one story. I hope.
I hope.
Mm-hmm. I hope.
Wow.
Well, the London Association for the Prevention of Premature Burial, you know, they did their job.
Those are my people.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's the group I want to belong to.
I'm in the wrong industry.
Absolutely.
Cute.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I don't know, guys. We've gone afar. Let's bring it back to the movie.
Oh yeah, we still gotta rate it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we're not done
I'm trying to
yet.
get there. I'm trying to
But wait, there's
breadcrumb
more.
our way along. Okay, so here on Spooky Sips, we don't do stars. Oh, we do sips. And actually, I will be interested because we do this a lot where like I think we all come to the table. You know what I think we should start doing? Is I think we should have our rating in mind after we watch it.
We should like write
and
it
you
down.
jot it down.
Yeah.
You say,
Mhm.
here's my rating of the movie.
Mhm.
Because then we come and we meet and we talk. And I think
Mhm.
so often we're like, oh no, that was such a good discussion. And we
Yeah.
move it up.
Mhm.
So I think for
Mhm.
our next movie, we should have a post movie rating
Mhm.
and then a post recording rating.
Yeah, like just write it down. Like as soon as it's over, write down a number.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here on Spooky Sips, we don't do stars, we do sips. So out of 5 sips, how many are you giving the Autopsy of Jane Doe?
I can go first.
Okay.
I
Let's
mean,
hear
I don't know. I feel like I was ready for a spooky movie, and I feel like this hit for me. I I do think the first half or however big the chunk is better than the kind of last chunk, even though I kind of liked the explanation that they gave. So to me, I think it's just like a solid 3 out of 5.
Mm.
If it's a dark, stormy day and you want to be spooky, solid. You know, they're not doing anything crazy. They're not. There's no like huge innovation here or anything, but it was fun.
I completely agree because like I remember watching it and I didn't remember the details, but I knew that I enjoyed the viewing experience.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like it got a little cheesy, it got a little scripted, it got a little heavy handed.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only go so far with that. But I think there was a lot going for it. So I am a very solid 3 as well.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with everything you guys said. However,
R.I.P. Stanley.
R.I.P. Stanley, I gotta knock it down a full half a point for killing the cat.
That's fair.
It would have been a
respect
3, but you can't kill a cat and get a 3 in my book, so it's a 2.5.
That's fair.
That's for Stanley.
I think that's so fair.
I stand for Stanley.
I stand for Stanley.
2.5 for me.
Okay. We'll accept that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the title of the next one we're watching
I just sent it in the chat.
I was like, I know it's The Thief, but I tried to Google, I typed in The Thief and nothing came up, so it did not.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just kidding. Wait, where? Oh, in this chat.
Oh.
Brianna!
Oh, you meant like our text chat.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
did it in the...
I'm also drunk. All right. So next time here on Spooky Sips, we will be watching The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover. Because when we did Hereditary, Ari Aster said this was like one of his like must watches, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we thought, you know what, let's do it. And it is from, what's the year?
1989.
1989. It's an old boy.
It's a tricky one to find, but I think it is possible to find at some libraries. And
It is. Go to your local library or your
Yes.
local movie store or your illegally downloaded partner.
Not that that's what we would do.
We've
but
never.
like it's other people.
We've
found
never.
it
other people
there.
do, but we
We
can
have
also find
never.
it
We've
on-
only legally downloaded.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. That's it. Cut. We're done.
Thank you for listening to Spooky Sips. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening. To stay up to date on all the spooky things we're up to, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at spookysips_podcast. And if you want to help support the podcast, consider buying us a coffee or really a cocktail. We are completely independent, so every little bit goes a long way to keeping our podcast running and improving. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.